evening, all you mentees, and welcome back again to another episode of Reelz Talk with your host, the amazing Amanda. And I have two co-hosts, the Uncanny Omar, not whatever I said before, and Ødfel. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody. How are y'all doing?
Us or them?
Them and you guys, both of everyone, the whole audience, and of course, Omar and Ødfel.
I'm doing well. How about you guys? You two ladies.
I'm
Well.
doing pretty good. The weather was great today, so I got to go out and do some shoots and have a good time. So it was fun.
What, shoots like you're hunting animals?
Oh no, like cosplay shoots. So I got to chalk up on that nice. Yeah,
Just clarifying what's happening.
yeah. Sorry, that nice autumn leaf era of the fall. So everything's popped and nice. So
Wonderful.
Yeah. Cool. I haven't done one of those in a while, but next time I'm out, I'll see if I can do some selfies out in the fall, dressed as something.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a while since we've done one of these.
Yeah.
And we go ahead and talk about the She-Hulk as a series and the finale, of course, and Werewolf by Night. So I'm gonna ladies' choice. What do you two want to talk about first?
Hmm.
And I'll create the banner for that.
That is a good question. Let's go ahead and get She-Hulk. Let's talk about She-Hulk first. Let's go ahead and do that. Because obviously that's our series or our season that we had been following. And I apologize, guys, we couldn't finish the week by weeks. But if you remember the last stream that Omar and I had, I couldn't stop coughing and maybe giving Omar COVID. I'm not really sure.
What?
But eventually I did have to go to the doctor and get actual medicine because the coughing got really bad. So I apologize about that, folks.
You apologizing to me? You're the one that gave me COVID.
No, I apologize to the audience. I didn't
else.
give you COVID. The con gave you COVID. Calm down.
If I didn't get COVID, I'd just been under the weather. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
Okay. So Twister is suggesting Werewolf by Night because he hasn't finished She-Hulk
Ooh,
yet.
okay.
it has been out longer.
All right, let's do Werewolf by Night first then.
Yeah, Werewolf by Night. It's been out a full week, right? So we can do that first.
All right. So let me take back what I just wrote and I'll write something else. Good call. Werewolf by Night. Spoilers, by the way. It was just a one shot.
All right. It was just one shot. Yeah. Directed by Michael is it Giacchino? Is that how you pronounce it?
So. Let me check my sources.
Who is a composer. Which I know his music from, the Spider-Man films, the Tom Holland ones, because he does all the scores for those. And I know he's done multiple other Marvel films. And what's so great about this is that he actually approached Kevin Feige about Werewolf by Night because he had this vision that he wanted to bring to realization. And I love that they were so open to just giving him this creative, stance to let him go out and do this one shot that is so different than a lot of other Marvel stuff that we've seen so far. Obviously, it's, our monsters. It's not superheroes. It's not mutants. It's not gods. So it's a whole different feel. And they definitely wanted to make sure it was a different feel from everything else we've seen. And we got to see this whole new part of the Marvel universe on screen that we've never really seen before. I mean, if you don't count, I guess, Blade.
It is definitely a side of the MCU that we haven't seen. And at first I was like, is this going to be too hokey? And before we go into spoilers, I'm just going to say the only negative thing I have to say about this is, damn, I wish it was longer.
Yeah.
Because when it ended, I'm like, oh, I want more. I want more of Man-Thing. I'm sorry, Ted.
Ted was amazing.
and Jack, like, together, and Elsa. And I was taken back by this one. I thought it was really good. I thought it was well done. And it seemed like it was a lot more graphic than most of the other Marvel shows in sense of like violence, because
lots of blood.
I assume it's because of the black and white they can get away with it, or maybe they are testing waters for something a little more mature content.
Well, if they're going to have Deadpool soon coming to life, we know that's happening, then I think they have to start showing that there can be that side of the Marvel universe. And, black and white helped, right? Because when there were those scenes, for example, the one scene where Jack as the werewolf is not Jake, right?
Yeah, Jack Russell.
Jack Russell, yeah.
Which, by the way,
yeah,
has always been just a coincidence because apparently the creator, the original comic book writer, was not a dog person, was a cat person, and had no idea that a Jack Russell was an actual dog thing. And I thought that was a really cute story. Pure coincidence.
Like the name, okay.
Whether you believe that or not, I don't know, but I'm just telling you what.
That's cool. Yeah. But that one scene where the door's closing and as you see him just ripping apart those guards and the blood spattering on the camera, like that, maybe they could have, it's easier to get away with it when it's in black and white versus when it's in color. I could see that being a thing.
I don't know if this is true, Josh. There are no rules with streaming. You can show what you want. What are you watching? I'm pretty sure.
Not on Disney Plus. I feel like Disney Plus is still very strict. That's why, like, I feel like Moon Knight was kind of testing the waters first.
Yes.
As like a solely really adult show on Disney Plus because it's really not a kid's show. But I've always said, and I'm surprised we got it this early, if they do Elsa Bloodstone, it's going to have to be after Blade because it's such an adult character. But they managed to pull it off in a very adult short feature. And I'm surprised they did it before testing the waters with like a Deadpool or a Blade, honestly. I was, as soon as they said the Bloodstones, I was like, sorry, what?
Yeah, right? Yeah, and Laura Donnelly is amazing as Elsa. I love that actress. Yeah, for those, someone had said, I thought it was Kristen Ritter. Yeah, a lot of people mistake her for the actress who plays Jessica Jones, but
right.
Yeah, but if you haven't seen her before, she was the lead actress in The Nevers, which was a show on HBO Max, which I do not think is going to get another season because of who the creative minds are behind that show. But I'm glad to see that she is now in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
You have me guessing, like Rosie O'Donnell?
I guess I can name names. Joss Whedon. I mean,
okay. I'm sorry. Okay.
I'm creative minds behind it.
What happened? Okay. So really this is just about a monster hunter that happens to be a werewolf and gets caught into this amazing little game that feels like a 1930s horror movie.
Yeah, like, not caught. He purposely is there. He's trying to save his friend.
Right. But I mean, at the beginning, you're led to believe like, okay, maybe he's here for a reason. But what I liked about this, and I don't know, I haven't seen any behind the scenes, and I only got to see it one time. I tried to watch it again today, but I didn't have the time because I was editing videos. But I don't know if they used real film to film this, but they sure as hell took a lot of time to make it look like a real film, like the scratchy effects, the cigarette burns. The little bit of the skipping, like I thought that was really cool. And the fact that they kept it black and white, I wonder if he had to fight for that.
Oh yeah, no. As someone who loves black and white horror, like I don't like modern horror movies, like at all. I don't like being scared. There's something about black and white horror movies from like the 30s through the 50s that I just am in love with. And as someone who loves those, like the lighting techniques, the practical effects, like they absolutely nailed it. To the point where, like, several times between how the sets looked and how the lightings looked, I kept forgetting this was a new thing that came out this year. Because the lighting just looked so accurate to the time and the place that it would have been if it was, like, an old horror film. That, like, it wasn't until there'd be, like, a CGI effect that I'd be like, oh, right, this is Marvel, okay. Like, they really nailed that style, and I don't know if it's, like, they had faith in it because of WandaVision or if they just went for it, but like whatever team they had like knew their stuff. It was amazing.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah,
they used practical effects.
Well, even the werewolf, right? I mean, that's not CGI. Like that was
Man Thing was definitely a practical. Like that was a costume, and Ulysses, Bloodstone, like the zombie. Like I thought that was gonna be like part of like a character, but no. I'm like, holy shit! They really try to make this as, I don't want to say campy, but that era of horror definitely has a feel to it that's a lot different than like 60s and like Hammer. Like it has a unique feel to it, and I think this captured that magic.
Oh yeah.
Now I say I want more, and then a little selfishly, maybe I don't. Maybe I want this to just be that special. And because it seems like when they find something, they're like, ooh, people really like that. Let's make 5 more projects and make it look like that and give it that feel.
I hope
And it
that's
kind of
not.
loses that special feeling.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the shit out of this. I thought it was excellent. Like I said, the only thing, like, he was amazing as Jack Russell. Like, I
Yeah,
thought he was
Niall, yeah, he was
really
great.
good, and he's good in
Yeah.
everything, right? I even like at first I was like, oh, you gotta call him Man Thing Ted. I get it, that's his name. But I was like, oh, I want more, and I want more of Elsa, and I want to know where
Yeah.
the story goes.
I
Yeah.
definitely want to see more of these characters. If I'm being honest, I really hope they drop the black and white horror effect and leave it just to this special, because you're right. I feel like if they keep doing it, it's just going to dilute how good this first one is. And I'm almost like, okay, at the end, we've sped up to color. Everyone's where they're supposed to be now. Let's progress, integrate them into the MCU. Let this be a special that's kind of this one like encapsulated nice thing. Let's go ahead and integrate these characters. I would love to see like Moon Knight and Elsa do like an adventure. That would be amazing. Or like when they bring in Black Knight and Blade, maybe like a Midnight Suns thing. But I don't think I'm afraid, yeah, if they keep doing the retro movie thing, they're just gonna kind of beat it to death in a way.
Wear it out. I keep wondering now that, especially with this coming out, we lost the director to Blade. They've pushed Blade.
Wait, that's real. Like, that's
Oh
actually.
yeah,
I know there's a lot of drama with
They
Blade.
delayed a lot of Marvel movies. It wasn't just Blade. So several other movies have been pushed back, delayed in their release in the next phase, in phase 5. And I keep wondering if they're somehow going to try to, with a new director. I heard there was issues with like maybe the writing, and maybe they're going to try to bring in some folks into Blade, maybe Elsa, if that was going to be the case. I'll be interested to see what happens now that they're pushing it back, finding a new director, and taking, I would assume, a new direction is all I can say. Yeah.
I'd like to see like a little, like, how they manage to see like what the reaction is for something like this, and whether it's worth carrying on another special. Like, because streaming is a lot different than movies, right? Like, ticket sales shows you how much people like it, and you're like, okay, that was definitely worth it. We're gonna do a volume 2 and a volume 3 or whatever. Where streaming is like, I don't even know how they get their numbers. Are people actually buying Disney Plus just to go and check out Werewolf by Night? Like, how do you determine how well this was received?
Sorry,
go ahead.
No, I'm saying there are metrics. There are obviously Nielsen. They can track if someone has it on their TV. They are now tracking streaming as well. So Nielsen ratings exist, and of course, I think there's another one. I can't remember the name of it. That they're also tracking views, or how many times someone has viewed a certain property. So
does that also include the views of like family members sharing?
No, it does not.
Just curious.
No, and
hypothetically speaking,
I don't know how all of them work, but I know when the Snyder Cut came out, either HBO or a third-party company posted the statistics of how far people were getting into it. Yeah. And they were able to post like, 70% of people like got 3 hours in and gave up. Like 20% of people like finished it. Like they were able to like see if you finish it as well and not just like click it and then click off of it.
That's
so I don't know how, but
that's such a long time though, like 3-4 hours. Like 3 hours is that's a win for me if 70% of the people are still watching after 3 hours.
Yeah, I still haven't tackled it.
I dug it. But back to this, I think I didn't know what to expect. I thought they were gonna start off in black and white, or I thought they were gonna trick us into thinking, oh, it's a black and white thing by showing us a trailer. And now this has opened a door to, okay, if we can't have any more black and white, because like you all said, then that's gonna make this feel less special. Then we can open up a door to different things, like, ooh, you can make it look like early 80s special, which makes me think that's what they're gonna do with the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. They're going to make it look like the Star Wars holiday special and include what's up, Ødfel?
No, that would just like, yes.
Oh, I thought you got invited to the Guardians of the Galaxy screening for that.
Yeah.
Oh no, just like dastardly. Like I would love if they did like an homage to the Star Wars special, or like some type of like written, right?
Like it's meant. Yeah. If they're going to try different things, and I think this is the face that they're trying different things, especially with WandaVision and this, and obviously She-Hulk, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. Then now's the time to do it. There was somebody that in the comment section, and we'll look at some of the comments here in a bit, but that was mentioning like Nova just is rumored to be now a special instead of a movie or a TV show. And that would be kind of cool. And the first thing I thought of was Starman from the 80s. I don't know if y'all had seen it. But that type of feel for a movie, I'm like, oh, that'd be kind of cool to see it like a TV special, making them stand out. So, Did you all see the little Easter egg of gore, like from Jason Aaron's run? I saw as soon as I watched it, like as soon as the beginning of Thor, like cutting into gore, I'm like, oh, Jason Aaron's run of Thor. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, that's interesting because we've already seen gore and it's not that design.
It's
so
not
like,
that dude.
Exactly.
I was like, okay. Like I even paused it. I'm like, was that? Wait.
So let's see. Anything else to add? Like, what was your takeaway from all this? Like, what was your favorite character? Breakout character from here, Ted. Like for me, it's Ted. I don't want to follow it.
Fantastic, especially just when he's talking to them and she's like, he went that way. Like he's
burning dude's skull. Like, yeah, the infernal man thing, baby. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Gael is a standout as Jack, and I love Laura Donnelly as Elsa Bloodstone. I think she was perfect, even if she's not a redhead. She was definitely perfect for that role. She brings what I would expect, that sarcastic, little sardonic feel to her. So I enjoyed that immensely. I also liked how they paid homage to, Wizard of Oz, that black and white to color, and they used over the rainbow. I was like, clever, because that was one of the first films that was filmed in color, where it started out in black and white, and as soon as they get to Oz, it goes to color, and then to play over the rainbow as that's happening was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I appreciated that. Then that's when you get to see the actual practical effects of Man-Thing. You're like, holy shit, that's not CG. They actually built a suit.
Yep,
this guy is here.
Yeah.
What about you, Ødfel? What was the best part for you out of this?
The Bloodstones. I love Elsa Bloodstone, and I love the Bloodstone family as a concept in Marvel because it feels very different from a lot of the other Marvel subcategories. And I've been wanting the Bloodstones since Black Knight and Eternals. And then Moon Knight came out, and I was like, oh my God, I would love to see how they do Elsa. And then I really honestly thought it wasn't going to be until we actually saw Black Knight, or maybe like way down the line after Blade, that we even would get Elsa, because she's like a CD character in the most part. Like she's not a main roster.
Next Wave fans, baby.
Yeah. So yeah, I was like geeking out and surprised because I went in with no spoilers. I had no expectation of the Bloodstones even being a plot point, let alone like her being in it, because I avoided like everything about this. So for me, that was like the top of the top, and I was just ecstatic to see her brought to the screen. So
I was the same way. I think I knew that she was rumored to be casted as Elsa, and I'm like, oh, they couldn't get a redhead to play Elsa. That's a damn shame. Because I was kind of hoping, now's the time to get a ginger in there. But oh well, maybe next time.
They could have put a wig on her too. That wouldn't have been that hard.
It was black and white, so I don't know. But then it went to color, so all right.
Yeah. They did get. At least they gave her the orange leather outfit. I'm like, you know what? Okay.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, because it looked black in the black and white, right? And then it was like red. I'm like, oh, nice.
Well, all and right. that's why I wasn't sure if her hair was black, because I'm like, orange and red do look really dark in black and white. But then, like when it went to color, I was like, dang it, like okay. But we at least got the leather suit, so.
All right. So let's rate this one, and then we'll move on to She-Hulk and talk about that. And I'll let the ladies go first. What would you all give this out of 10? The special.
I loved it. I give it a 10 out of 10. I thought it was a perfect short film for Marvel. It definitely has been one of my favorite things for this phase so far.
I also would give it a 10 out of 10. I love black and white horror. I love the Bloodstones. I love the practical effects. It's short, it's worth watching, and it's a great watch.
I wish it had been longer. Otherwise, it was a great. So for me, it's like a 9.5 out of 10. It's great. I want it more, a lot more, and so I can't wait to see what they do with these characters, because now That is the one thing, whether you like She-Hulk or whether you like Werewolf by Night, like it's exciting to see what they end up using these characters later on down the road for. Maybe we'll see Black Knight back one day. Who knows? Or that one kid from Iron Man 3, Amanda.
Yes, one day.
One day.
Iron Lad will make his appearance.
and you're going to flip your shit.
Oh, I'll scream in the theater and no one will understand why.
8.5, maybe somebody will. 8.5. 5 out of 10 was a howl. 9 out of 10. Not the biggest fan. Jean Grey, red, no race swap. Please buy.
Okay.
I mean, she could still be a redhead. 9 out of 10. It was a welcome change of pace for the MCU. Absolutely. I agree. I agree with both of you. It felt different enough and so welcoming. Oh my gosh. 6 out of 10. 8 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 8. Not particularly deep, but it was fun enough to time. There was nothing I didn't enjoy. Solid throughout. And I'm glad they took chances. 9 out of 10.
I can see
Moonlight. Are you leaving? Opinion by?
No, he's just gonna keep saying goodbye and offering his opinion, and then come back in.
Bizarro world where you're saying hello.
No, I just think it was so refreshing because, like, I know I'm definitely feeling the Marvel fatigue, both with comics and shows right now, and it's really been refreshing. Because I've enjoyed Miss Marvel and She-Hulk, but it's been one of those, like, I feel less excited to be like, new episode out, and I think it's just fatigue of how much we've been getting. So this was, like, really refreshing.
So speaking of Marvel fatigue, let's start talking about She-Hulk.
Because we have to talk about it now. Yeah, I will be adding Werewolf by Night to my like yearly like Halloween watch. I think.
Oh yeah.
As long as they don't take it off of Disney Plus, because God Lord, who knows what people.
And now it makes me want to purchase, even though I have the stupid things on Blu-ray, like the 4K versions of the Universal Horror. Like, why do I need that in 4K? I don't need it in 4K. How much 4K can you add to black and white? Especially 30s films. So
they're so good though.
She-Hulk season 1. We're gonna be talking about the whole season, what we enjoyed and what we didn't enjoy, and then of course that finale. So yes, we have to talk about She-Hulk. She's on the thumbnail, so of course we do.
Yeah. It's over, so we should talk about it now.
Yes.
Is it the worst MCU show? Oh well, find out. Let's see what we think. All right. Amanda and I have been talking a lot about She-Hulk and our thoughts.
Yes.
Started kind of like, oh, this is pretty. So it kind of went like that. Ødfel, what do you? As the series, like when it started, the middle, and then how it ended, like how did you feel? What were you thinking? Like,
I the first couple episodes were kind of slow and they were very mid to me, and then as it went to the end of the series, it became a near perfect series to me. It encapsulates everything I like about She-Hulk through different runs. Like the law procedurals very much like the Soul run. The fourth wall breaking is like the Burn run, and kind of her slapstick, like I can get what I want, I'm gonna be sassy stuff is much more things we see from like Kelly Thompson writing and stuff like that. And it's kind of encapsulated all the elements of She-Hulk I like. So it really, I think like halfway in just started shining for me. And I think it's really good for what it is for that character, and I couldn't have asked for more.
Okay. So I had hopes for it because I thought, like, with the first episode, I was actually one of the people that was like, oh, this isn't bad. I actually kind of, a few parts of this made me chuckle. She's breaking the fourth wall in cute little minimal ways, and I like that. Let's see where it goes. But it seems like the episodes by episode, it just got boring and boring. So much so that I think I stopped watching it around episode 4. And then I watched 5, 6, and 7 back to back. 7 was the highlight for me. I think, and I don't want to say that we needed Daredevil to bring the show up, but it kind of felt like that because he brought not the Netflix Daredevil into this, but that reminder that this is part of a bigger thing. Yeah. So much more so than actual Hulk. Because Hulk, for some reason, just, and I think it has to do a lot with the actor Mark Ruffalo, just doesn't really add much. And I hate to say that, unless he is rampaging out or hulking out. Like, he really does, like, the whole Professor Hulk thing never worked with me. It felt so weird because his comedic timing was so bad. I wasn't a big fan of his Bruce Banner in Ragnarok. Hulk in Ragnarok was great. It's weird to say that, But Bruce Banner in Ragnarok was just not funny. Like Chris Hemsworth has phenomenal comedic timing.
Oh yeah.
But Charlie Cox's Daredevil really brought that element that I thought was missing. Like, oh, this is cool. You know, it's like a reminder, and then like it was a nice little goofy episode. And then we get
to play her two worlds together too, the legal and the superhero, and that's what Matt Murdock is himself. So it brought it together, which was nice.
Because I feel like a lot of my issues with this series is just that it was written really weird and not good. Whether it was the plot or the dialogue, it felt like it never found what it wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was really clear in the final episode, at least to me, the way that I took it. Because when we get to the finale, by the way, the finale, episode 9, I think it's episode 9, right? Mm-hmm. With the finale, that has probably one of the best intros of any MCU movie or TV show, with that Bill Bixby type of intro.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of that 70s
I loved it, yeah.
Hulk TV show. So that spoke to me. That was awesome. And then, you know, it got to the stereotypical, oh, they're trying to take her blood. They're going to create their Hulk. We're going to have a fight. And then it felt like her breaking the fourth wall and going to see Kevin and going to see the Marvel behind the scenes. I'm like, man, it really felt like they didn't have this planned out, like, at all. Like, it felt like they're just winging it. And I wish they had, I mean, if they were going to do something, because we've seen that in the comics, right? I'm not saying that we haven't seen her talk to the editorial staff in the comics. Why are you canceling my comics, you know? But we've seen it on the show in small dosages. And then in the finale, it's like, no, we're just going to go there because we don't know if we're going to get a second season. And I think that's the way it felt. Like, we're just going to write this. We're not even going to wrap up some stories. Like the guy that slept with her, that took her blood, he was just gone.
Josh.
Right, Josh. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to talk about that. He come back.
Yeah.
Or you know, what was what was the Abomination doing there? Like, what? I don't know what was real. Like, what was fit in, and then what was rewritten. It was really weird. And
yeah,
it seems like they tried to they just undid everything that happened in the previous 8 episodes.
It was good and it wasn't. I enjoyed it my first watch through, I think, because it was unexpected. It's one of those things I would like to rewatch the finale with context now that I know it's going to happen and see how I feel about it. Because for a first watch, I thought it was definitely fun because they just haven't done anything like that. But I didn't like how they set up this massive fight that made no sense just to undo the massive fight, and then they ended it on a kind of weird note. I think it definitely could have been done better. Like the finale to me was probably one of the more disappointing episodes for me. I think like episode 4 to like episode 8 were phenomenal. But it's one of those I want to rewatch it and see, because I feel like the entire massive fourth wall break is not going to age well on a rewatch.
Yeah, I can see that. I almost felt like because her fourth wall breaks weren't so consistent that would have been something that we would have seen maybe down the line in like season 2 or season 3, where she, after so many fourth wall breaks, completely goes crazy. Like something insane happens. So it felt a little off to get it right in the first season. But again, Omar's right. They may not know if they're going to get a second season.
I wonder if that was the case. We may not get a second season. Let's go ahead and use that particular thing. I feel like, okay, I will say this. I really like her. I really like her She-Hulk. I think they're great. Of course, she can use better CGI, so maybe when they're in a movie, they can actually give her the CGI that she deserves. I think my problem was mainly with the writing and the plot, and the comedy never really stuck with me. Although she did have some lines that cracked me up, like, you know, we're Hulks, we smash, like fourth walls and Matt Murdock. I thought that was funny. That made me crack up. But most of the time I was just like, and then they kept introducing characters that I'm like, am I following these side characters more than I am the She-Hulk plot? And then they kept coming back with the joke of whose show is this anyway?
Yeah.
And I feel like there were writers that were conflicted with what to do with the character. I think it definitely is targeted like to be a fun show, right? Like not to be taken seriously. It's supposed to be funny. I get that, but I don't think I was the target audience, and that's okay. I don't have to like everything. I also did not like Moon Knight. I was not a fan of Moon Knight though. So this one didn't do it for me. I'm glad that you liked it, and I see some people in the chat enjoyed it. That's good.
Yeah, I definitely think it could have. I know they were trying to make it sitcom feel by making the episodes shorter, but I really think that it would have benefited from longer episodes because it could still have a sitcom feel and still be a longer episode than not 20 minutes. Because if the whole idea is for her to learn and to love and grow into being She-Hulk, if that was her arc for the first season, I don't feel like it was fully realized even without her having to break the fourth wall in such a massive way and tell Kevin that's what the show's supposed to be about. I almost kind of wish we could have just seen that organically happen, where she grew into loving both her side. I mean, we get that one episode where she goes to Emil's and she has that talk with her dudes and the porcupine and the wrecker guy. But I don't think that was ever fully, completely realized where she was okay with both parts. And maybe it was just because of the storyline they chose to go with, the long running storyline of the stealing of the blood, which again, yes, that is very much an MCU. That's what happens. You know, every superhero has a villain who wants the powers for themselves, right? That was even the Hulks with Abomination and such. So, I just feel like that was just not executed as well as it could have been.
I think
longer episodes.
Yeah, I think either longer episodes or if it had 12 episodes, like even just a couple more episodes between like the first trip to Emil's and then like her having the like inhibitor on and not being able to use her powers and like, okay, I finally was okay with this and now it's gone. Like some more time between all of that and like her coping with all of that before the finale, I think it could have really benefited from. I don't know. Pacing.
Yeah, and you're right. Think about sitcoms. If you wanted to be like a sitcom, sitcoms have like 20 plus episodes.
Yeah.
Like The Office, Ally McBeal. These all have like that, like a long, like Stranger Things has 8 episodes because it's hour long, like 45 minute to hour long episodes. So if there was going to be truly sitcom, like you're right, they needed maybe more episodes because that's how sitcoms are.
Yeah.
So when I was talking about the like conflicts between the writers, I think one of the biggest conflicts too was her character of Jennifer, because if you remember, like in the first episode, she is like kind of, telling Bruce, look, I have this under control. I'm all about this. I got this. I don't need to be a superhero. And then she's rampaging at the end of episode 8. And that to me was like, but again, I don't know how much was made up on the spot to lead to this. We're just going to end it here kind of thing. Like if that was the plan, it was just a weird plan for her to snap at that moment. And I'm like, this is what's going to give us our savage She-Hulk? That is just so odd after her giving her cousin a whole spiel about like, I've got this. I don't, I know how to control my anger. Really weird. It feels like the writers were either arguing or just kind of whatever.
It made sense to me. I don't know. To me, it made sense for her to be like, I'm a lawyer, I'm a woman. Like, these are typical things. Like, I've got it under lock. But like to get so mad, not only to have your phone hacked, but a sex tape blasted. Yeah, I would probably black out with rage too. And I don't even have Hulk powers. Yeah. So for me, like that, especially when you think you won an award for like a job you feel like you're underappreciated in, like, oh, I would probably snap too. So for me, that was a very realistic, very good pivotal moment for her to finally snap. And it's one of those things where plot wise for the villains it works too, because they're like, see, this is what we've been telling you she is all along. So it kind of like, to me, was a really well done plot point.
So so I didn't think about that aspect of like how so in the first episode she said I got this, right? But then later on we see her throughout the episodes kind of dealing with the whole She-Hulk persona. She might have Jennifer Walters under control. So I didn't even think about that aspect of it until you mentioned it. But we don't know how she's going to deal with, She-Hulk is popular. Everybody wants to date She-Hulk. Nobody wants to date Jennifer. So it's almost like an identity crisis in a way for her. And she's becoming less and less confident in herself. Whereas at the beginning, she had it all under control her whole life. And this thing kind of got thrown at her. So okay, that's a good point. So I can kind of see that then. Then that makes that okay.
Yeah.
Still did not like that ending, but at least that makes sense with the
That does make sense. Yeah. She only had that brief moment of maybe people like me, or maybe I'm okay with Matt Murdock, but that was, and it was completely just smashed because of what happened.
Yeah, I think overall, like, for me, the series was a win. I think it started really slow because it didn't know what it wanted to be, but I think it went up from there. And I think the fourth wall breaking is its best when it's at like a Fleabag level, if you've ever seen that show, where it's just kind of like side shots of like
Fleabag.
Oh, I love that show.
Like whenever they do that, I think that was peak. And I hope if they bring her back, they keep it at that level, because for a finale, it was great. But I agree, like, I hope she's not doing that in every film she's in. But I agree with you guys. I think they are not sure if they're getting renewed. But I did generally like the humor of the show and the fourth wall breaking of the show when it stayed at that kind of just like, come on, really, like, level.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I'm excited to see more of it. I really enjoyed it, but
Yeah.
I like this. I like that we're not agreeing. Nice. I think it's gonna be nice to see her with other characters. I think it's gonna be nice. But then I thought about that, like, when I watched Thor. Oh, it's gonna be so cool to see him and Captain America and Iron Man get together.
Well,
and Iron Man, like, that was such, like, that, and it was right. But I'm saying, like, in the new lineup of whatever the Avengers are gonna be.
Yeah.
I'm really happy we didn't get Madison back, though.
I kind of
No, Ødfel probably loves Madison.
Yeah.
Are you a Madison girl? Ødfel?
not really.
All right, hell yes, I'll drink to that.
Like, she was fun for one episode. I did really like her, but then she started blowing up into memes everywhere, and I'm like, oh god, I hope she's not reoccurring, because she was like great in small doses, but I'm like, please. It was funny the first couple times, but like, I don't need so much more of her. I kind of think it'd be funny if next time we see Wong, she's just still there, but other than that, like, I have no interest in seeing more of her.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, as soon as I saw the Doctor Strange start going, I'm like, oh my god, if Madison walks through that and takes a meal with her, damn it. But no, it was
cool. in the end credit sequence,
the end credits, yeah,
that was an interesting end credit sequence. I'm not sure.
What does that mean? Is he going back to the fighting ring like we saw him in Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, which was an excellent flick, by the way. Really liked that.
Yeah. For Shang-Chi too. I mean, was that like, or
because I mean, obviously he's going to be in the Thunderbolts, right? Or is that
he's in the Thunderbolts roster. I was about to say, like, he's going to be in other stuff, I guess, but
what does Wong have to do with Thunderbolts? I don't know.
Yeah, like, that's completely unclear. So it's kind of like, well,
this is a really good question. So what was the difference between this fourth wall break? And I don't know if Griffith is asking us or if he's asking the chat.
Probably both.
What's the difference between this fourth wall break and the fourth wall break in Deadpool 2, time traveling and fixing other issues? For me, I think, like, this kind of came out of nowhere. But I'll be honest, I wasn't the biggest fan of Deadpool 2 either. I like Deadpool 1. I thought Deadpool 1 was funny.
Yeah.
I thought Deadpool 2 was a little too much, even though it had one of the best Brad Pitt cameos I've ever seen in any movies.
Yeah.
I think somebody mentioned it earlier, and I think they put it perfectly. My issue with this is that, hold on a second, let me find it because I want to give credit where credit is due. There he is, Rafael Miranda. Think about it. She-Hulk didn't solve her problem. She needed Kevin to solve it. It went against the message of the show because so the whole Deus Machina, right? Like, she went to go and get everything restored and fixed. Hey, let's do this and rewrite history instead of solving things her own way. So I think that best puts it. Whereas Deadpool is kind of a lunatic, not a lawyer. That kind of anything goes, at least in the movies, right?
Yeah,
so, and I think, and if you're talking about the after credit scenes, those were also, like, I don't think they were real. I think they were just Ryan Reynolds having fun.
Oh, the end credits where he kept going back to time and shooting himself for reading the Green Lantern. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was, at this point, the way they introduced Deadpool in the fourth wall breaks and those movies was, I mean, he was doing it almost every other time to the camera, right? I mean, it was pretty obvious that was it. Whereas in this show, they didn't do it as often, right? It was very much more sporadic. in this show. So that's why it felt off-putting. And all of a sudden we're really invested in the fourth wall break to solve her problem at the end of the show. I wouldn't mind a whole Hulk fight at the end. That would have been fine with me.
Hey, can we talk about what they did with my boy's hair?
You thought Scar?
What are they doing with Scar's hair, man?
That was, I was not expecting.
We're just going to throw that out there.
Yeah. No, like I think the fourth wall break in that episode would have been completely fine if instead of 35 minutes, the runtime was closer to an hour. Because I think when they replanted her back into the universe, if she actually had time to like not jump to a clean wrap-up ending, that would have been great. But it was kind of jarring for her to just show up and, oh, the cops are there and everyone's arrested. And I was like, we're not going to talk it out or have any type of fight or like what? And I think if we had like 15 more minutes like right there, it would have been a lot better.
I definitely can see that.
The chemistry between Tatiana, Amanda, help me out here. How do you say her last name?
Tatiana Maslany.
Yeah, Maslany. I got this one. Charlie Cox.
Good for you. Oh my God.
I would have wished the show had more of that. Me too. I like that. They were so cute.
Yeah, they were really cute.
I fear that this is where we're going with the MCU. What you're saying and what Ødfel said earlier about Madison becoming a meme the next day. And because part of the reason why Deadpool was so popular was not because of the comics. There's a whole generation that grew up on Deadpool because of GIFs and memes and had no idea who this goofy character was that was talking to you. And then when they saw the goddamn trailer, they were like, oh, it's that guy from the meme and the GIF. Didn't make a connection with Fabian Nicieza.
No.
Liefeld, they don't give a shit about that. It was like, and I feel like people saw that and they're like, oh, we need to make each of these characters, a meme, a GIF that people will be talking about the next day, which worked with people like, or characters like Madison, right? Which is exactly what they were writing for. And if that's what you're writing for, then what the hell kind of story are you telling? And I don't know if Scar is a meme. I'm just saying it feels like
he's a meme
out of the territory we're stepping into.
It felt less like they're teasing Scar for something later and more like a joke that like Kevin got his way, because Kevin's like, no, we have to tease something for the next time. And they were like joking that he has to say what he did while he was away. And it felt more like, oh my God, look, Kevin did get his way at the end, like more than a serious, like, here's this character. And it already felt like a joke within the show.
God, I'm disappointed if we get no more Scar. No one's like,
what a waste of a probably not that they even have any plans
for like
in the next 10 years, even though Mark Ruffalo is pushing 50. I don't know if he's busy 50 already.
I think he's
that means like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I like that mentality though. Like, okay, I didn't think about it from that aspect of like, okay, here's your next lead into World War Hulk or Planet Hulk, and it's Scar, but he looks like this. Okay, so I get it.
I think I might have been serious about the look, but I
think the look was unfortunately serious. I think him being there was like the joke of like, you got your happy ending, so I'm still getting what I want anyway, because like she got to hang out with Daredevil, but he's like, haha, I'm still teasing this.
The show was self-contained and the Daredevil episode felt refreshing.
It was very refreshing.
I agree. That was the episode that I'm like, oh, this was fun. I like that.
Yeah.
And not because it was Charlie Cox. Maybe it was Charlie Cox. Maybe they should just put Charlie Cox in this. Skip that whole Daredevil Born Again. Boy, I'm going to get canceled tomorrow. Yeah. Wildly enough, MCU in the future, Scar could be like 13 to 14 years. Wow. As a woman, She-Hulk really became someone for me to look up to. So endearing. I don't think you're being Eddie Brock. Who doesn't love Charlie Cox? He is great. He's got that face. Yeah.
And they're dynamic. Oh my God, I want so much more of that.
Yeah.
So much more.
Oh, nothing's wrong with being 50, but I'm saying like in 10 years' time when you're making a World War Hulk movie, Ruffalo's going to be 60.
That's why.
Of course, he'll be all like CG'd up, right? But you still have to have the damn things all over the dots all over his body.
Don't worry. There's a number of films they haven't named yet that'll come out in the next like 3 years. He still has time. He's only 54. I looked it up. So he's time.
He's got time. He's got time.
And apparently, if Hugh Jackman had come back as Wolverine,
Harrison Ford still comes back. Jones and Omar's not 50. Where the hell did this come from?
I don't know.
Okay, or be 50. I'm one day.
One day.
What the fuck?
What happened to you?
I've been drinking and the stupid camera's been giving me issues. I'm about to
Like you got roasted and disappeared.
I got roasted.
Yeah.
I would not disappear if I got roasted. I love how Jennifer asked, "What are we?" Yes, that was one. That part made me laugh,
that was
right?
cute.
Or the way she looked at camera when she was like, "We smash things like Matt Murdock."
Yeah,
That was awesome. But
that was a good joke.
The X-Men one made me so happy because it reminded me of the I'm gonna tear up all your X-Men comics. I was like, oh my god, she did it.
And then in the final issue, remember when the series got canceled, she was like, "That's it, I'm coming to your house and ripping up." I remember when I saw that cover, and I'm like, "Man, She-Hulk can come to my house and rip whatever she wants to anytime." What would you ladies give this out of 10?
The whole series?
Oh, it's a series as a whole, yeah.
Okay,
what would you give this out of 10? And anybody that watched it, that didn't watch a YouTube review of it, what would you rate it out of 10? I put you all on the spot.
Overall, I think about a 7 out of 10 because I wish there was a little bit. Yeah, I think tonally it needed some work. Some of the writing needed some work, but Tatiana Maslany is excellent as She-Hulk and Jen, and her supporting cast. I mean, Nikki and Pug. Heck, even our fashion designer, he was great too.
Mm-hmm.
So just as side characters, which again, if it was 20 plus episodes, we really would have they would become very endearing and not just taking time away from getting to the point of Jen's story. So that's where I stand on that.
I think 7 is pretty high. I mean, I'm sorry. That's good. Ødfel.
I would give it an 8. I think it's solid.
Stand your ground.
I think it's solid. Its merits are really good. I think the comedy's really good. It as someone who's a woman on the internet pretty publicly, it talks about a lot of issues that are actually very relevant, and a lot of sentiments that are very relevant in a way where Intelligentsia was a villain that I really enjoyed to see, because I deal with those people every day. Not necessarily threats, but I mean that type of person with that type of mentality. So for me, I connected with that story, and I probably bumped it up a little more than the writing was for everyone. But for me, I think it's an 8. There's flaws with I think the beginning of the show, and there's flaws with the finale, but the meat and potatoes of it, very good. So I enjoyed it.
So no lie, I remember from the very beginning, I felt like this show was Ally McBeal had a huge following, right? I never saw a single episode of Ally McBeal. I'm sorry. I tried one episode with my ex-wife. We watched it. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm gonna go read. You keep watching this.
I was too young.
And it's just one of those things that it's not for everybody, but it definitely has a following. It definitely needs to have a show about this character, and it just didn't work for me. But I do see what you're saying, though. The comedy didn't work for me, but it definitely works for a lot of people, and a lot of people relate to the character. So I get it. I just want to make it clear, I'm not hating on the show because
you're fine.
So it's a woman or it didn't click with me.
I will tell you, it makes me never want to date on the internet, but
I don't think we have any choice these days. But for me, it's 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. Yeah. Which I think is what I gave Moon Knight, because I think the cast in Moon Knight was phenomenal, and the cast in this was great for the most part. I think I liked everybody, her supporting cast. That was the other problem. I wanted to see more of that really good-looking lawyer that is actually 50 years old from Hamilton.
So
from Hamilton, Renee.
Yeah, my goodness, girl. I'd like a sideshow with her. Let's see what everybody else. 9 out of 10. Spencer loved it. Fantastic. 1 out of 10 because 1 out of 10. That's what I gave Catwoman for the lighting. 6 out of 10.
No, for practical effects, probably.
No, it's not.
No, I think the cool thing with this phase is everything feels like it's for a drastically different audience. So I think it's like totally cool that people are like, I loved this one, I hated this one, and the next one they love.
I see that more with this face than any other face. You're absolutely right.
It's cool because it means they're actually hitting demographics that are different for once and not just trying to hit the same one. And I appreciate that.
But I also feel like people that love Thor 2 Dark World are saying things like that. Like that's what they would say to justify their love of Thor Dark World.
Listen. Listen.
I'm sorry. Was that 8 out of 10?
Loki was in it. It's not,
it's the best Loki movie. I'm like, if you like Loki, I'm like,
honestly, I'll say I like Dark World more than Love and Thunder.
Same.
Yeah, I did.
I don't know. I don't want to go down that dark path. 10 out of 10 as a whole is 6 out of 10. No interest out of 10 in ever watching. Sticking to your guns, Phil. At least, you're being honest. At least you didn't watch it and you didn't rate it. Good for you, man. Yeah. 2 out of 10 didn't like it. I'd rather watch Night Court. Dude, I love Night Court, though. That's not a bad thing. 8 out of 10, great show, good effort, decent execution. So ending. 4 out of 10, I'm being generous. 4 out of 10 as a whole. 7.8, the finale 5. 6.5 smashing. I give it an 8.5. It was She-Hulk. I loved it. Fresh air. I love that. I love that people are enjoying these things. I never want to crap on what everybody else is enjoying. Unless it's Thor Dark World. Then we've got problems. I'd give it an 8. I enjoy the majority of the episodes. 4 out of 10, 6 out of 10. Really split here.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like, that's pretty interesting. Because I think you're right. Out of all the faces, there's like a definite division. 6.5 out of 10.
Now my question is, how's everyone going to feel about Black Panther when it comes out in a month?
Yeah.
That's good.
I have a fear that Omar's intelligent. It depends
on who becomes Black Panther. That is the defining factor of how it's going to get rated overall.
Let's talk about that here in a second. Yo, for a minute, dude, when I was watching, I'm like, did they just put a bunch of Latinos together and call them intelligentsia in the stupid episode? Because I was going to go off about that. 1 out of 10, She-Hulk is very near and dear to me. And seeing this debauchery for 9 weeks with swords. You watched it, though. Wow. Confident in MCU DD, though. Yeah. Hope it delivers. Hope it delivers, my dude.
No, I'm just enjoying seeing them do a whole bunch of different genres. Like Miss Marvel was so different from She-Hulk, was so different from Moon Knight, was so different from like all the other shows they've been putting. So different from Werewolf by Night. Like, not everything is for everyone, and that's why like when one doesn't click with me, I'm like, I get it. I liked the last one. Like it's more refreshing just seeing them try to aim things at different people to get other people like invested in a character. Mm-hmm. So I'm intrigued to see where it goes because like I'm content with not liking anything at this or like not liking everything at this point, and I'm just excited to see what their new projects are going to bring.
Hold on a second. Are you talking about Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3? Marvel post Spider-Man 3 has been a complete cinematic abortion. Because Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3 was...
He's talking about No Way Home.
That was so bad. Don't you dare bring that to this place, Roberto Rodriguez.
Come on, Roberto. Have you not seen it?
Look, here's what I do have a fear. And I'll be dead on. I was talking to Amanda about this earlier. I do have a small fear that because we are in this... Everything has to be funny. Everybody has to be quippy. I do have a fear that Black Panther is going to have this forced humor that doesn't fit in, and it's going to be in the most inappropriate places, which is my issue with Love and Thunder. And I'm just like, surely they won't do that, right?
No,
like
Ryan Coogler
and the director would not let that happen. But the director doesn't have a full control. Not when you're talking about producers.
Yeah, I know, but. But Taika already was a different animal. Like, I mean,
he was, but he was always able to balance that comedy with drama, like in Jojo Rabbit, right?
But I think he was preoccupied during the filming of Thor: Love and Thunder with other things.
Yeah, I remember you were like,
that movie.
Film this part.
That movie's like Whiplash. Like, I went. And I took my friend to it because he really likes Thor. So I was like, we're gonna go to the premiere. This will be your first premiere. You're going to have a good time. And I'm sitting there in the theater just like...
Oh, my, I can't imagine being in the premiere of something I wasn't digging. I would have been like, oh, this is awkward. The Taika's over there.
Well, literally, like, all of them are, like, upstairs. And people are, like, clapping and screaming. And I'm just like...
It's not...
I feel bad. I want to like it. Like,
That's gotta be hard, right? Because like you get invited to the premiere, so you want to be invited again. So you're like, oh, this movie's freaking awesome. I loved it. Yay.
yeah, it's like it's hard to process too because like you just had all this starstruck like 5 minutes earlier, so you're like riding the high and you're like, I think I like this, and then like 5 minutes after the movie, you're like, did I? Wait.
Yeah.
It was the first premiere I think I genuinely walked out of like
Wait. Okay, Jojo Rabbit was based on a book. First of all, I don't think I knew that. So thank you, Roberto Rodriguez. But second of all, so was Love and Thunder. It's Jason Aaron's run.
A big run, but it's arguably a lot more story than probably Jojo Rabbit. And I think that's the issue. Like with Thor Ragnarok, it was a much more succinct story. Love and Thunder, they're cramming in. Jane could have been a whole movie by herself. Her becoming Mighty Thor. Yes, it should have been.
Ragnarok
and Thor could have been his own thing. And instead they're like, let's put it all together.
Ragnarok kind of crammed Planet Hulk in there, right? And yeah, also aspects of,
but it worked really well.
Walter Simonson's run on Thor. I agree. I do agree with that. It's just that he can do it. It just was like, is this the same director? Because it did not feel like it.
Yeah.
But you know what? We reviewed that already.
We did.
It was a lot. I just hope like if Namor is teehee funny, I'm gonna be very, very upset. Like I love Namor if he's teehee funny.
Villains.
I'm just hoping Coogler. I can't see him. No, I don't see that happening.
I thought Thor 3 and 4 had the same writers of like Chris Yost, because I thought Chris Yost was one of the writers as well as and then somebody else doing the co-writing with Thor.
I thought it was
probably right.
But Taika might have been a little bit more hands-on. If you watched his interviews, he seemed to not remember what he did, and I think he even made him in
Love and Thunder was all right to me. It wasn't the best, but I don't think it's as bad as everyone makes it out to be.
It's whiplash, but when it's good, it's good. I think Jane's story was really, really strong. It's like everything packed in around it felt so tonally different. At least for me, I've only seen it once. But that was my takeaway, was I was like, the Jane story is strong. Everything else just kind of like whiplashes you out of it every 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But like the good parts were really well written. It just was a lot.
Yeah, and no, Yost did not write Love and Thunder. It was Taika.
You haven't seen Thor? Okay, well,
oops, sorry, Brian.
We didn't go into big spoilers, but
yeah, you get a chance, get on Disney Plus. It's on there.
And then especially after our review of right now, how much we don't watch it right now.
Well, I mean, it's if you have Disney Plus, you're already paying for it anyway. Jennifer Caton Robinson so it only was Taika and this lady, Jennifer Caton Robinson, who also apparently was a writer on the Do Revenge, which is a current movie on Netflix right now. And Sweet and Vicious and someone great.
Brian. Okay, Brian was being sarcastic. Okay.
Oh, he was.
I was just worried because I hate spoiling things for people.
Yeah,
but maybe that's it. Taika was the only writer on that, so maybe that was the issue.
Can't wait until they gender swap Dr. Doom. Then complete this. The destruction of society will be complete. Dude, if they gender
Lady
swap
Doom, okay.
I'll be okay with that.
Fight for Sue Storm.
Oh, there's so many. Let me see. We got Salma Hayek that can play Dr. Doom.
She's already in it, Turtles. Even
don't ruin this for me, Amanda. Where's my Christina Hendricks?
Listen, if we can have female Dr. Doom and she still gets to fight for Sue Storm, I will sign up for that 100% of the day.
I think you get more views that way. Like that's how you get more people to the.
I'm not opposed to this.
I'm okay with that, dude. Scummy, you just gave us a brilliant idea. We're gonna let Kevin Feige know. I'm gonna text him later tonight.
You're gonna let Kevin know.
Yeah, Kevin.
Kevin. Whatever that acronym stood for, I don't remember.
So, have y'all heard about Harrison Ford playing Thunderbolt Ross?
Is that real?
I don't know. It's a rumor right now.
It's a big rumor. That would be.
How much money do they got to spend on these things? And why would you get Harrison Ford? No offense to Harrison Ford. I love the guy. A phenomenal actor. But he's not young. Why don't you get somebody younger? I mean, unless you got big plans, right?
Maybe they have to keep Thunderbolt around the same age and...
Okay, then you makeup?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know how the reverse would work, but with the de-aging they did in some of the Marvel movies, I feel like they could just age someone up, and then if they get older, have them that age, and then young them if they need to, like, keep someone around that. I feel like they have that.
Dude, are you Orson Welles from the Orson Welles commercial? Because
the French.
Because I love you all. Oh my god, it reminds me of my buddy Frank so much, the way he gets drunk and he just starts talking about liquor. Okay, sorry, I had to comment on your icon. Harrison Ford is not confirmed. It was a rumor, and apparently he turned it down. Ooh, okay, now I'm in. Ed Harris.
I haven't seen Ed Harris.
Now that I'm a big fan of Ed Harris.
That'd be
Love
good.
that dude.
That'd be really awesome.
The friendship. That is you. Okay, that's so awesome, dude. You won the internet tonight for me. That was awesome.
That is fantastic.
Ron Swanson is Ross. He has the mustache. Ed Harris for Magneto. I'm okay with Ed Harris being Thunderbolt Ross. He's a little bit older. Magneto. Ever since we had the good-looking, what's his name, Michael
Fassbender.
Right? Yeah, I kind of want to go that route. Not that there's anything wrong or not hot about old dudes, but just saying.
I mean, Pierce Brosnan did pretty good in Black Adam.
Ezra Miller.
No,
they're going through it right now. I don't even. Are they still on the run? I haven't kept up with that whole drama.
Is that a Flash joke? Did you just make a Flash joke?
I didn't mean to.
No,
yes, I'm taking credit, and I meant to do that. I'm taking full credit for the Flash joke.
The only reason they're still in the news right now is because Issa Rae was talking about how Hollywood enables people like them to keep working when they clearly are not good and they shouldn't be working. And she brings up a good point because they haven't, DC hasn't done anything as far as like kicked them off of Flash or did anything with the movie. It's still going forward as far as we know. It will be released next year.
The fact it's getting released and Batgirl isn't still makes me upset.
It makes me upset. It made Brendan Fraser upset. It makes everyone upset.
literally.
They have $90 million to say, yeah, you know what? We don't need it. What?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and it's so sad because the actress who was cast for Batgirl's been posting like a bunch of BTS of like the stunts and the costumes and all this like footage she had that she's like, well, I guess I can share this now. What NDA? And it's like,
that sucks.
It looks so good.
Did she get paid? I assume the actors got some kind of money, right? Like, I mean, I know they got paid, but not what they probably could have gotten paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My goal in life is to be a hot old dude. Right? Ooh, Vigo from Magneto. And man, if somebody's commenting on your shirt. Love the Hocus Pocus shirt. Very cool. And love
thank you. That's our Halloween costumes this year.
Yes.
Who would you be your ideal casting choice be for the all-new Wolverine? I said it many times. I'll say it again. Go get me a homeless dude. Give me a homeless dude in his 30s. You get him from like another country too. Like, I don't know. Who's got hot people? Like everybody's hot over there. Like Amsterdam. Everybody's hot in Amsterdam. Give me a hot homeless dude from Amsterdam. And you cast him. Because I don't want any freaking actor. I don't want no Daniel Radcliffe. I want a Wolverine type of dude to play Wolverine.
Yeah, I would kind of like a faceless, like not known actor. I do like the fan cast of Karl Urban, but I still think like someone new that we haven't seen before would be really nice.
Exactly. And Carl's a little, not that I'd say he's older, but I mean, he's got to have longevity. An unknown young actor would be.
Oh, I'm sorry. A homeless Canadian. My bad. You guys are right. You guys. What about the guy from Kingsman? Nope. Don't even want that.
I know. Taron Egerton. A lot of people wanted him. Yeah.
Not this guy. I want a no name that they can sign a freaking contract for like 40 years.
I'm still wrapping my head around Daniel Radcliffe being Weird Al Yankovic. So
that trailer is a fever dream.
It is.
It can't be real, but it is.
It is, yeah. Evan Rachel Wood is Madonna. I was like, what is happening?
Rainn Wilson for Wolverine, or at least assistant to Kevin. How have they not casted Rainn Wilson as anybody like MODOK. I'm surprised he didn't go with MODOK instead of what's his name? Well, I don't know. Whoever's going to be MODOK in the Ant-Man movie. Hot take, no racism intended at all, but black actors as Xavier or Magneto would make the subtle racist undertones of X-Men so overt it would almost defeat the purpose. You know, there's this meme that goes around every Black History Month, and I get the message that the characters of Magneto and Xavier were based on Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. And I don't ever want to be the actually guy, but that one I'm like, no, let's not give credits like to Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Stan Lee created those characters because he was just like, I'm tired of telling origin stories about a guy that got bit by a radioactive spider. I just want to tell stories about people that were just born with these powers. That's it.
Yeah.
There was no magic behind that. The guy that actually needs the credit for all that is Chris Claremont. Just like the meme of Jack Kirby, and I love Jack Kirby, getting the credit for Black Panther. That one always pisses me off more. I don't know why. About how the editor of Black Panther was like, you need to put more white people in your comic. So he wrote the KKK in the next issue. And that is true, but it was not Jack Kirby. It was Don McGregor, not Jack Kirby. Memes, man. That's how history is rewritten. So anyway, I see what you mean, though.
I could see it being on the nose. I could see it especially with the current political climate in America. I could see it just getting eviscerated and completely missing the point with how everything is right now. Like, I could just see it being like, whoa, woke X-Men, and just like eviscerated for it without actually like noting the message of X-Men.
Exactly. Well, because that's what happened with like She-Hulk, and anything that's on the nose about any, person's plight, if it's too on the nose, it's automatically just woke and how dare they, and
and honestly, I don't know if they'll do that with X-Men. I think the message is still there, right? It doesn't. Oh my God! Yes. Thank you.
Really?
Oh my God, where is it? Oh my God, did Melanie delete it?
I didn't touch it.
Oh, freaking trick. Where's my freaking... I can't believe it. It's gone.
I didn't delete it.
Oh, man, that breaks my heart.
I think you recently sent it to me in a text message.
We'll upload that next time, baby. You need to give Terrence Howard his due. The conflict between Professor X and Magneto is very MLK, Malcolm X, in terms of subject matter, but not the characters themselves. Absolutely, but that conflict didn't come, remember, until years later. The conflict between Magneto and Professor X was always in the 60s and even early 70s when the series was canceled, or right before the series was canceled, was I'm going to take over a nuclear power plant, or nuclear missiles are going to come and attack the U.S. That was the conflict. There really wasn't a background story to them.
Yeah.
The whole concentration camp aspect of Magneto's background didn't even come until a couple of years after Claremont was on the title. So that's the important thing. I wasn't saying it's not there. It's there, but it's not there until Claremont took over the run. And people
Claremont really did a lot. I would like to see a diversified X-Men roster. I just don't. I don't want it to get eviscerated in the public eye to the point where people just miss the point, because it's getting very exhausting with these IPs where they have like really good messages, but no one gives them a shot because they're just like, oh, of course.
Yeah.
And it's like, have you consumed it? Have you tried to consume it?
And I wonder if there's even a middle ground to that, right? Like where is that fine middle line? I'm the best there is at what I do, man. Yeah, dude. Oh, I love Terrence Howard. Matt Reeves will cast Middle Eastern actor as Raj Al Ghul. Oh, Artie, is that still happening? The sequel to Batman?
As far as I that's not something they're pulling the plug on. It was anything that was going straight to HBO Max. It seems that they were pulling.
Yeah, I think like Blue Beetle got canned because I was upset about that.
Wait, what?
No, that's still going because that's a movie.
Is it?
I was excited about that one.
Yeah, because I've been excited. I'm like, I think that one's dead, but if it's not, that's great.
No, it is. It's still all going because I think during the Cobra Kai season 5 interview or press junket, I think he was talking about it in some of his interviews. I mean, I want to see Miguel in that outfit.
Yeah, I want to see that so bad. Like Blue Beetle's so fun.
Yeah, I just want to see Jaime Reyes on the big screen. That's very exciting,
right?
Yeah.
Like, it's cool. I did hear, and some people were already talking about it. Luckily, nobody spoiled it, but apparently there are spoilers already going around for Black Adam, which
already?
Is it out officially?
Next week.
the screening came out this weekend. Like,
Oh my gosh.
The
so
premiere
people
did.
are already uploading what it was and stuff. Static Shock. No, Static Shock wouldn't be Disney Plus. It would be HBO.
I think it did get.
Yeah.
Armor Wars plot twist. Don Cheadle and Terrence Battle. Yes. Oh, dude.
I don't know.
I would be all over that. That would be my favorite MCU movie. Blue Beetle's going to theaters because it's so good. Film in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico represent.
Especially when they have that. Is his name? Do you pronounce it Jolo? Is that how you pronounce it, Omar?
Oh, you're talking to Ødfel because I don't know how to pronounce that dude's name.
Okay. Well, with him and the popularity of Cobra Kai, I would be shocked if they said we got to cancel this.
Hell, they're doing a freaking Karate Kid movie without the Cobra Kai cast, so I don't give a
that. I don't understand. That makes no sense. Is Jaden in it?
I don't know. If Johnny and Daniel are not in that, then what's the point? What do y'all think of Henry Cavill appearing as Superman again?
If they can get him,
if they can get a good writer,
I'm not against it.
Yeah,
I never disliked his version of Superman. I just wasn't a fan of the films themselves.
I didn't hate Man of Steel. I actually enjoyed Man of Steel more than most people did. I just think, and honestly, I think I like Justice League. I know I'm in the minority here, but
the Snyder Cut, of course.
The Snyder Cut,
not the other one.
It was a masterpiece, man. It was black and white. We just talked about black and white and Werewolf by Night. Everybody give me credit to that. I have sadly seen the Madam Web pics, and
I have not seen these. Are they
I
fantastic?
don't even know what that little team is, who the villain is that looks like Spider-Man, but they can't get Spider-Man. I don't know what's going on.
They caught him and feeling in my gut.
Okay. They feel it in your gut. Henry's a good super. He's excellent. He's good in everything, though. He's a good actor.
Yeah, I really enjoy like most of his performances, honestly.
I want to see him go up against somebody as big as him, like Chris Hemsworth. Like, I would have loved to have seen him casted as Zeus. Not that I don't like the dude from Ted Lasso, but
yeah.
Oh, Dwayne Johnson. Yeah, like Dwayne Johnson against Henry Cavill. Oh, that would be good.
Dwayne Johnson puts his own money up front for this stuff. So if he wants it, he'll get it.
He does. Maybe he can buy DC Comics.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if we watch Black Adam, his $7 production, is that what it's called? Will probably roll through. Yeah. So
why are they making a Madam Web movie? Why are we not?
Why does Sony do everything?
Why are they making an El Muerto movie?
Why are they doing a Craven movie where he's an animal lover?
Why are they doing a Craven movie? What is happening? And why did they cast Quicksilver? What is?
Why did they cast Quicksilver? Not think about the actor.
Two F's about anything. They just do what they do because they own the rights.
Yeah, like Aaron Taylor Johnson's such a weird flex for Craven, and I'm like, what is happening?
He had a really good accent in Avengers, though. Avengers: Age of Ultron. Maybe
he probably would have lost it eventually, just like she did if he stayed.
Like Scarlet Witch did.
Yeah.
I saw a clip of Madam Web, and it looks back like it was running out of a subway. It looks weird. Okay, so we have Arachnid, Ezekiel, and people I don't recognize. Yeah, I saw a couple of people I didn't recognize. I assume one of them was Silk. I don't know who they can use in this movie. I don't even know if they can use Black Cat, but apparently they can because it's Sony.
Why wouldn't they? They use Black Cat and Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Felicia
what's her name? Anyways, the actress was Felicity Jones.
I have forgotten about that movie, and I think I'm about to
I don't, but yes.
And it wasn't that bad. I remember thinking it wasn't that bad. Talking about Puerto Rico, Bad Bunny as El Muerto. Thoughts?
Yeah.
No. Why? What is
it? For Bad Bunny for taking care
supposedly Madam Web movie is basically Terminator going back in time to kill Peter Parker's parents. So Spider-Man doesn't exist. Madam Web sends spider heroes to prevent it.
So who's going back in time?
That's an interesting concept. So we never get to see what's his face.
Spider-Man.
Somehow. We don't have to, right?
But it's essentially like Spider Flashpoint.
Yeah.
But I'm here for it.
But who's the villain then? Who's the villain?
Madam Web, I guess, if she's the one that's sending everybody back.
Well, she's sending them back to prevent it. So then who's the villain who's trying to
No, it says going back in time to kill Peter Parker's parents. Madam.
Well,
Oh, to
Madam
prevent. I'm sorry.
heroes.
The villain would be. Oh, what's his face? The vampire guy. That's after the spider totem.
Not Morbius.
No, not Morbius. No, God, not Morbius.
Is it Morbin time now?
No, it's not.
Jared Leto back?
Guy with the freaking mounts.
Yeah, I can't think of his name, but yeah, the one that causes Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
Okay,
the guy with Spider-Verse that can go through the multiverse. What the fudge is his name? Mongol. Oh my god.
Chad is saying Moreland.
Moreland. Thank you. I'm so close. I just watched Rings of Power, and everything I want to pronounce is Mordor and Moreland. Yes. Moreland. Thank you so much. Not the Tomorrow Man. Thank you all. Yep. Matt Moreland. Thank you, everybody that was correcting me. And this is why I watch anime, because it's basically the same plot. Shut up, Josh. Anything else in movie news before we wrap up tonight, ladies? What else was announced or delayed? Blade. Rumors of Blade. You said that is true, that it has been delayed.
It has been. Oh, here's all the stuff that's been delayed. So there's a big shuffle. So Blade was moved from November 2023 to September of 2024, so almost a whole year.
Wow.
Yes. So Deadpool 3 is now coming out in November of 2024 instead of September. Fantastic Four is now coming out February 2025. So we have to wait even longer. And now I know we don't have a director for that because what's his name? John Watts dropped out. And they haven't announced a new one yet. Or did they announce a new one?
I don't think so. I didn't know it got delayed that far.
Yeah, I think after they lost the director for Blade, they really had to do some reshuffling, I think. An untitled Marvel film was pushed from February 2025 to November of 2025, and Secret Wars was delayed from November 2025 to May of 2026. So there we go.
Wow. Guys, I'm going to be pushing 50 years old, maybe, when these movies come out.
God, I'm going to be
40 by that time, I think.
Oh, you guys are going to be so old. Oh, no.
Oh, no, I don't care. I think 40 is young.
Oh, yeah, me too. That Ødfel?
Sorry, James just popped in the door and gave me a. I was like, what? No, I think I'm probably going to be in my 30s by the time X-Men are out. It's fine.
Thanks. Omar, I'm pretty bummed there hasn't been a Map My episode lately. I'm trying to make it happen, man. I gotta give.
It's a lot. It's a lot of prep work. We all gotta be on the same page.
Right? What she said. Yeah, man. It's coming, okay? Have you seen the first image of the new Red Sonja? I remember seeing Robert Rodriguez's first image of the new Red Sonja with the girl he was dating at the time.
Huh.
What was her name? She was a redhead, really popular. Rose McGowan. Rose McGowan was playing Red Sonja. They released one image, and that was it.
The most recent attempts got completely scrapped, I think, because the chick who played Ghost in Ant-Man 2 is going to be Red Sonja. And I think the director dropped, and that actress is no longer Red Sonja. I think like the entire project is like back to zero.
Is she being recasted in Thunderbolts? Because I heard a rumor that Ghost was going to
really? They're going to recast Ghost?
I don't know. It was a rumor that I heard.
Which might be why she backed out of Red Sonja, because that would be probably a better contract if it's long running for Thunderbolts.
Exactly. Yeah, the new actress is a Matilda Lutz, who apparently was in the show Revenge, which I did not see, but Emily Van Camp was in that.
Wait, the new actress for what?
Red Sonja.
Red Sonja.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel character you least want to see a movie of? Probably El Muerto.
And yet you're getting one.
With Bad Bunny? I even give you the casting. I don't want to see Bad Bunny El Muerto. Who knows? It could be a masterpiece. My gosh. What about YouTube? Least Marvel character you don't care about, you don't want to see a movie get made of.
I don't know.
It's okay, no one's here to judge you. Did I take your choice with El Muerto, Bad Bunny?
There's a couple of people I think don't need movies. Like, I could never see like a Mockingbird movie, but I wouldn't mind seeing her as a TV show.
Oh, okay. Ghost actress is the same. Thank you, Rafael Miranda. She showed up in D23.
Yeah, I'm not happy
with Ant-Man's daughter. I knew about that one.
Yeah. Omar's not a fan of that recasting. He didn't like that.
No, I was not a fan of her in Pokemon.
I can't think of any Marvel character I like despise enough to be like, I never want to see this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there are characters I don't like in the comics that I end up liking their movie counterparts more.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with them taking a chance of whatever characters they're going to be digging into next.
Yeah, I think it just depends on the writers of the movie or show.
Like, I'm trying to think if there's any characters that have like powers or like a setting where I'm like, I just don't think that can be brought to life, but I'm blanking right now. But I feel like that would be more my thing, is like, I just don't think they could do this justice. So probably someone like super cosmic. Oh, I have one. I never, ever, ever want to see Beta Ray Bill in 3 dimensions.
Ooh, that would be.
I just really, I'm so afraid they're gonna do it in Thor film. I don't want to see CGI Beta Ray Bill. It's gonna haunt me forever.
Given
it's gonna haunt me forever.
Well, it could go like the
track record with CGI lately. Yeah, I would agree with that.
I'm gonna like close my eyes at night, and it's just gonna be like nightmare Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah. I'd be okay with Beta Ray Bill if they did it right and they did some practical effects. You remember practical effects when people had to wear like semi horse head outfits?
A fleshy horse face, I can't.
Yeah, they just all you got to do is CGI his mouth and his eyes. They just get Jim Henson behind the eyes, like
fleshy horse mouth.
CGI is really ruining like makeup artist jobs who can really create kind of stuff like that makes it look really cool.
Yeah.
Josh coming in with the big swing right here. Actually, Beta Ray Bill's already in Ragnarok.
His head was in him.
Statue, the face.
Yeah.
Bill is one of the greatest of all time Marvel characters.
He's good in 2 dimensions. I don't want to see him.
Here's something that I always thought I wanted to come to screen and not was the goats. I really thought that'd be cool on screen, and now I'm like, nope. You can send those goats back.
They were funny one time. I remember laughing once, and then when my wife laughed the second time, I said, "Oh, this is going to be an ongoing thing." Damn it!
Omar, you again.
That might be a sign.
You're struggling. You're struggling.
Let's wrap up. This has been a lot of fun. Let's wrap it up. And any other? God damn it! At least my mic's not going. I don't know what the hell's happening. I'm gonna
goodness gracious!
Restart everything. Any last thoughts, prayers, any other questions in chat? No. Awesome. All right. Really quickly, Ødfel, where can people find you when you're not hanging out with me, mapping stuff or doing reviews of TV shows and movies?
Yes. If you would like to see more cosplay related content, and sometimes I talk about, comics and such, I'm on Twitter where it's Ødfel with a 0, and then everywhere else I'm Ødfel with an O. I have a Facebook and Instagram, Vero, Patreon, all that stuff, and it's Ødfel with an O. Twitter, it's a 0 because someone beat me to it, but yeah, I'm everywhere on there. I do Marvel cosplays. I do like comic book. Well, I do Marvel cosplays, DC cosplays, movie cosplays, all that. Don't let my tired brain ramble on too long.
No, you're good. All right, Amanda.
Yeah.
Sign us off.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Remember to follow us on all our social media channels at Near Mint Con. And remember to check out our spread shop for some great Near Mint condition merchandise. And also check us out on Patreon for $1 a month or more. You can support us in what we do here to bring this great content to you. And last but not least, if it's classy and cool, it must be Near Mint. Good journey, everyone. And we will see you probably soon to do a Lord of the Rings and House of the Dragon wrap up. So,
and I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Yes.
Tomorrow morning.
Grab your coffee and join Omar.
Or your beer. I'm not judging. Bye, everybody. Hit that like button.